Now today we're talking about the power of assumption. Now there's going to be a really interesting video. So today we're talking about the power of assumption, which really means how we can begin to assume things in our mind and body that actually causes things to happen in your life. Now usually we can do this in a negative way. So that means when you're getting anxious, you're worrying about something and it just starts to happen. All your worst things that you don't want to happen begin to happen. But what we're doing here is we're reversing it. We're assuming the feeling of having achieved your goal or the type of outcome that you desire. When you begin to assume that, and by assume I mean to think about your outcome in the positive, but not only in the positive, as if it's already happened. So you're assuming that that amount of money is going to enter your life. You're assuming that interview is going to be a success. You're assuming whatever it is, but that's what you're going for. That's where you're heading, and that is the only end outcome. So it's not a goal. I mean, a goal can happen, sometimes it doesn't, but an outcome is like that's what you're going for, and that's where the assumption comes in. We're assuming a certain outcome. We're not just going for any goal, but a specific outcome that we desire. And that can be in your health, your relationships, your career, your finances. It can be in any area of your life. But the key success formula to it is the whole positioning of how you perceive that goal or dream, that outcome, whatever you would like to call it. But at the end of the day, we're going to be going for that outcome. I mean, you can think about the idea of a goal, but we're just going to change it and allow it to happen so it happens automatically. So we have to assume, the first step is, by the way, then, we have to assume the feeling of having achieved that goal. So if it's about achieving a certain goal in your relationship, you assume that feeling as if it's already happened. How would it feel like to having achieved your goal? Now imagine that. Think about your goal, your outcome, your dream, whatever it is, no matter how big or small, step inside of having achieved that already and feel the feelings of having achieved that goal. Now that end outcome, that end feeling is going to be our driving force. We're assuming the wish, the idea, the dream, the goal already in our system before it's even happened. By assuming that feeling, what we're doing is we're aligning our mind and body into that outcome. Usually people don't achieve their goals and dreams and outcomes because they feel a disconnect, they feel scarcity, they feel a lack of. And that scarcity, that doubt, that lack of, that separation is going to create a conflict. We feel like it's either a bigger leap, or it's too hard, or it's too stressful, or what if we fail? What if this happens? So what we're doing is we're closing that gap by assuming as if it's already happened. Now this projects that energy, which means we're aligned to that goal. So rather than being really far apart, we're getting our mind and body to exactly where it needs to be. Now, once we assume that feeling, we begin to have that idea of gratitude, that feeling of gratitude. Because if you think about it, if you achieve that goal and dream of yours, and you assume that feeling of having got it, you would feel immensely grateful for whatever that goal is, wouldn't you? You'd be thankful and blessed that you've got it into your life, that you've achieved something, whatever that may be. So what we're doing here is we assume the feeling of having achieved it, which automatically gets our mind and body in sync with the exact outcome that we desire. It's like we're tuning in like a radio station right into our desired station, which means we can really hear the wonderful, beautiful music that you desire, as in your dream, your goal, your outcome. And then as you feel that assumption, as if it's going to happen, that it will happen, we then have that, we layer it with that feeling of gratitude. Now, gratitude changes your ideas and your mindsets, your thoughts and your beliefs and your energies as well. If you're feeling grateful, you're open to more, you're open and you're experiencing life that much richer, that much more powerfully. So by assuming that feeling and then adding gratitude, and this all before it's even entered your life, you're going to be truly in sync with whatever desire and goal is. It takes away the fear, it takes away the doubt, it takes away that scarcity, it takes away all the things which may have been getting in the way. It can even absolutely take away self-sabotage, because self-sabotage is one of those things where our mind is trying to protect us. It's not fully aware of our desires. It's not fully aware of what that goal will get us. So there's that uneasiness. And if there's that uneasiness, it means that the mind and body can begin to self-sabotage. But by assuming that feeling of having achieved it as if you're trying it on and really having that gratitude, that whole self-sabotage no longer needs to exist because you've satisfied your unconscious needs to self-sabotage. It doesn't need to do it anymore because it knows that goal and outcome is going to get exactly what you want. So having assumed the feeling of your desired goal, having the gratitude and thinking about the outcome as if it's already happened in your life, we're getting our mind and body in that total congruency. But it doesn't stop there. Having assumed the feeling of your dream, your goal, you then have to act upon it with conviction. Now, not only will that gratitude, that assumption, actually allow you to take better action and more consistent action, but we still have to be conscious of that. We have to still think, what can I do today which will make me that bit closer to my end outcome? What can I do tomorrow? 3 things, 5 things, whatever it may be, you consider the type of actions that if you did consistently. Now it could be learning more, it could be practicing a certain thing, it could be visualization, it could be exercise, it could be literally anything which gets your ideas toward that goal and allows that fruition to begin to happen. But by taking that inspired action, having assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled and powered up with gratitude, your whole being is in sync because you haven't only just got the mental game, but you've got the doing game. So you're going 10 out of 10 when it comes to your mental game of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, but then you're following up with the action, which gives you a 10 out of 10 there, which means you're really growing. You're really moving forward and you're really heading toward your goal. That means your energy is totally aligned with your outcome. I really believe whatever you want in life actually wants you. Sadly, we tend to think of all the things we don't want more often. We think of the things like, well, and it could be even about your goal. You go, well, I want that goal, but I might fail. I might X, Y, Z. I could, what are people going to think? All those type of things creep into our mind. So we can really want it, but beneath the surface, there's a lot of doubts and worries. However, by doing this process, you're getting your energy totally aligned with your desired outcome, your total congruency in being the you that you desire to be, and then following it up with action. That's where we're really heading. We're getting, you could say, just total alignment. And if you're aligned with your goal, it doesn't matter what happens because you'll keep readjusting, you'll keep learning, you'll keep growing, you'll keep on going forward, taking the action, assuming the feeling of having achieved your goal, radiating it out into the future, really like projecting it out there. And that means your mind, your body will begin to look for the opportunities at an unconscious level to make things happen on your behalf. And that's what I really think about. I think it's like the world is conspiring in your favor. But in order to do so, you must conspire and radiate and really assume in your favor first. When you do, the world will conspire with you. But that's what we've got to go for at the very first point of call, really. So I hope you enjoyed that. Once again, assume the feeling of your desire, your dream, your outcome as if it's already happened, and then have the gratitude for what is about to come into your life and what that will allow you to feel, and then act upon it with conviction. So have the most wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Many thanks and goodbye.